Hi, welcome to Silversmithing. First off, thanks for coming to my channel and watching this video. And if you enjoy it, would you make sure to hit the like button down below? That helps me a great deal. If you find the content here usable and fun to watch, consider subscribing. It helps me out as well. And you'll find lots of good content just like this one. So today's project is going to be, I think we're going to call it a faux filigree ring, because I don't know really what to call it. So, but I think you'll like it. It's kind of a cool, fun project that can be modified in a lot of different ways, and it's not too difficult to do. So stay tuned and we'll get started on that. All right, to start the faux filigree ring, what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of sketch out a generalized size and shape that I want the top of the ring to be. Okay, so sometimes I'll use like a coin or something, because I'm going to make a round top on this one, which you don't have to actually. Basically, I'm going to make a round top, a border out of 14 gauge round wire. I'm going to actually flatten some 18 gauge wire to make decorations that go in here, and then we'll create a band that attaches to the side here and comes together, and it comes back over here. Now you could do it, you know, in different shapes too. I've done some like where it has kind of a diamond shape, and then you put decorations in here, and then you hook a band to it. That looks nice. I think for this one I'm going to do a round one, but you could do all sorts of variations of that. You could also do symmetrical designs as well. I'm going to do something sort of swirly and abstract, but you could come up with some really cool patterns. You could do a peace sign in here. You could do all sorts of things. All sorts of possibilities with this kind of design. So to start with, though, I'm going to make a circle, and I don't want to make it too huge because then I'll end up with a gigantic ring top here. So I'm just going to kind of wrap this around the mandrel. Good size on this. It's actually pretty good size for me. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a circle out of this. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to solder this together. So I need to file the ends a little bit. I like when you have a basic design that you can change in a lot of different ways to make it unique each time. I think that makes for a versatile piece, not only for making yourself happy with coming up with different designs within the same framework, but also because it offers you some variety for inventory for selling stuff as well. You can have quite a bit of variety without having to do a huge amount of variation, because you can vary it within the type. Okay, so I'm going to solder that together. Torch is getting a little low, so I may have to switch torches mid-video. One of the things I usually tell people to do is, if they're going to use something as a frame, or if they're going to solder it down to something else, I always spend some time making sure it sits flat. It makes a lot of things a lot more difficult when you have to deal with a wavy surface you're trying to solder other things to. It's sitting reasonably flat. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is, and I did a little bit if this is it. Okay, so what I did is I took some 18 gauge wire, just 18 gauge round, and I rolled it through the rolling mill a little bit, and I'm going to bring the camera over there and I'll show you how I do that. And what that'll do is that'll give us a nice thin profile so I can get some nice detailed curly cues and stuff, while giving me a little taller wire, and it makes it a little stiffer too. So I think though sometimes it's a little bit easier to manipulate if you anneal it. So I'll probably anneal some of this before we start shaping it. I don't honestly have a design in mind at this point. I'm just going to kind of play it by ear, and we'll see what happens. So I'll take a little bit of 18 gauge wire over there and roll some more and show you how it works. Okay, this is my rolling mill. This is kind of a cheap rolling mill. Most people think, well, I think there's some debate, but Durston is right up there as far as high-level rolling mills that people like. So I'm just going to feed this through here. Roll it. Just kind of flattens out the wire. If you want it to be any thinner, you can tighten it down. Okay, so here's these things. To anneal them, to make them a little softer to work with so they're not quite so springy. Set them on the pad here. Just try to get them a little warmed up. When you anneal stuff, generally just have to get it up to kind of a dull red color. It starts to get sort of a glowy red hue. Not to the point where it looks like it's about to melt. But you keep it at that kind of dull red color for just a little bit, and then you can let it cool off. And that softens the metal back up. While it's cooling, I'm going to make sure this is round. Okay. Straighten this out a little bit. So let's get, how about, I'm just kind of making this one up as I go, but I'm going to say, cut some pieces about that long. So we have a few that are the same length. Okay, I'm just going to try and play with some of the shapes here. When I'm doing this, I'm doing a lot of just adjusting of the sizes in order to get these to kind of fit together nicely. And so you got to keep pulling them out and putting them back until you get what you want. That's not bad so far. Maybe one more little spiral in each area there. That's how it's going to be. Now I just need to transfer this over here. So now I'm going to cut a whole bunch of little tiny pieces of solder. Attractive. First off, let's figure out how big we want it to be. Let's say we want to make it a size, oh, I don't know. How about a size 7.5? Let's go with that. So I'm going to wrap this piece of paper around 7.5, and I always go about an extra 1/8 of an inch just to get a more accurate measurement. And now for the band for this is going to be between something that attaches to either side. I can subtract the width of the top part here from the size, and then so that's about from here to here is about how long my band needs to be that connects to either side. And so to start with, let's get some square wire. I'm going to cut them just a little bit longer than that because I'm going to flare them outwards slightly. I believe I'm going to straighten these out a little bit. So I want them to split just a little bit at each end, and in order to get those to be pretty close to the same distance from the end, this is just slightly lower than the other one still. So I'm going about, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch down from one end. And then I can just extend it across on both ends. And it should be relatively close to the same on either end. And that's where I'm going to bend them. So grab it right there and slightly bend it out. Okay. And then we'll solder them together like that. Let's flux this and solder it. It's going to be a race between getting these last solder joints done and my torch running out of gas. So what I usually do, I'm going to do it kind of like that. I need to file these so they match up a little with the side better. So I'm going to do that, probably mostly with the bastard file if I can, because it goes faster. That's about right. So let's solder those two together. generally at this point we need to start getting this a little bit curved, so you can start curving it around the mandrel like this. If you need to tap on with a hammer. So you get kind of a curve going like that. The rest of this, doing a little manual shaping of the band here in order to get this in a good position to solder it back onto the other side. And then we can wrap it up fully afterwards, but what I really want, so I want the curve to kind of match up with the curve of the other part here. I don't want this to be steeply angled to that. I want it to kind of merge nicely into that angle. Again, with that pushing past things, pull it back a little bit. And they'll be pushing together. Just going to set this down here so it's less likely to have any fall off kind of stuff happening. Position it like this. And I can solder it from the inside. Okay, I just need to be able to reach right here and right here, and this third hand will kind of support that, so it's less likely to flop off on me. Nobody wants their band to flop off onto the pad. That would be embarrassing. What would the other silversmiths say? So now, soldered together, usually check your solder joints, make sure you got a good solid one there. Stuff out of the way. Just a little. I was shooting for a 7.5, I think. And that's right about where I'm at. Wonders never cease. Okay, I'm just going to heat it up a little bit and let it pickle, and then I'll clean it up and polish it and show you. Here's the finished faux filigree ring. I think it turned out actually pretty attractive. It's fun with these ones because you could you do all sorts of different designs. You could put a stone on top if you wanted to, or integrate it into the design. All sorts of fun things you could do with these, but I'm almost always pleased when I'm done with these. They kind of come out interesting. So, all right. That's how you do those guys. All right, that was the faux filigree ring. If you found that to be a useful video, make sure to hit the like button. If you have friends who might also be interested in this, make sure to share it with them as well. And I'd love to have you as a subscriber. So again, thanks for watching. Happy silversmithing. Take care.